When people talk about hip-hop billionaires, the usual names drop: Jay-Z, Diddy, maybe Dr. Dre. But if you're skipping Master P, you're missing the original blueprint. Percy Miller turned a $10,000 inheritance and a dusty record store into a multi-million-dollar empire. At his peak, No Limit Records was outselling every major label. He owned his masters, signed his family, launched movies, cereals, toys, energy drinks, everything. So why isn't he mentioned in every billionaire convo? Simple. He built it quietly. This is the story of hip-hop's most slept-on mogul, and why Master P might still be the game's most underrated empire builder. From the projects to property owner. Born in New Orleans' Calais projects, Master P saw poverty up close and made a decision early. He wasn't going to stay there. He moved to Richmond, California, after inheriting $10,000 from a wrongful death suit. Instead of spending it, he opened a record store called No Limit Records. That shop became a hub for local artists and underground tapes. It was more than a store. It was a distribution lab, a marketing test zone, and the spark for everything that came next. That one storefront flipped into a music empire. No Limit Records, a factory for hits and hustle. In the late 90s, No Limit Records was a monster. At its height, Master P was dropping an album every week, with golden tanks on the covers, fire beats, and hood anthems that owned the streets. From Mystical to Silk, The Shocker to Sea Murder, he built a family business that ate. He didn't wait on radio. He flooded the streets with tapes and trunk sales. No Limit sold 75+ million records. And the key? Master P cut a deal with Priority Records that gave him 85% of the profits and kept him ownership of his masters. That was unheard of. The 85/15 deal, the smartest move in hip-hop history. Let's be clear. Most artists today would kill for the deal Master P landed in the 90s. When he sat down with Priority Records, he didn't come asking for a handout. He brought leverage. He already had regional buzz, an artist roster, and production handled. Priority offered him a distribution-only deal where he kept 85% of revenue. They just helped get the records into stores. That deal made him tens of millions and allowed him to scale like a label, not just an artist. This deal became the gold standard for independence in hip-hop. Rapper, CEO, film producer, all at once. While most rappers stuck to the booth, Master P went wide. He directed and produced films like I'm 'Bout It, Hot Boys, and I Got the Hookup, selling millions on VHS. He launched No Limit Films, started clothing lines, real estate plays, and even dabbled in sports management. He wasn't just a rapper with side hustles. He was a multimedia entrepreneur long before it was trendy. Everything he touched turned into products. Movies, albums, t-shirts, toys, even books. And he owned every lane: real estate, retail, and reinvestment. One of the biggest reasons Master P built long-term wealth? He bought real estate early and often. From California to Louisiana, he stacked commercial property, apartment complexes, and land. He flipped profits from rap into hard assets. He also opened retail stores, ran his own merchandise, and controlled the supply chain. By the early 2000s, P wasn't dependent on radio hits. He had passive income from smart, scalable businesses. He didn't want fame. He wanted freedom. And his portfolio shows it. No Limit Sports, and almost owning the NBA. People forget. Master P launched No Limit Sports, managing major athletes like Ricky Williams, the NFL's #1 draft pick. He negotiated massive contracts, some controversial, yes, and even made his own run at the NBA with tryouts for the Charlotte Hornets and Toronto Raptors. More than a publicity stunt, this was P testing access. He was trying to crack the NBA ownership circle. He even looked into buying teams, while he didn't land one. It showed his mindset. He wasn't just in music. He was aiming to own leagues, not play in them. Master P was branding before branding was cool. Before Yeezys, before Cactus Jack, Master P had P. Miller gear, gold tank pendants, and branded everything from noodles to chips to sneakers. He put his name on everything and sold it directly. He understood that music was the commercial, but products were the profit. His recent plays, like Rap Snacks, Uncle P's Food Products, and Lay Great Water, Proof he's still in the game, still innovating. And guess what? People are buying. Why? Because MasterP doesn't just launch brands, he embeds them in the culture. Family first, generational wealth in motion. MasterP didn't build alone, he built with family. From Silk to Sea Murder to Romeo, he put his people on and gave them platforms. He taught Romeo the game early, not just how to rap, but how to own. He passed down business strategies, launched companies with his kids, and kept money circulating in the family. That's not just entrepreneurship, that's generational wealth building, the kind that scales beyond music. Romeo has TV deals, business equity, and real estate holdings thanks to his father's playbook. That's the real empire. The media doesn't talk about him enough, on purpose. Why isn't MasterP in every Forbes hip-hop billionaire headline? Because he's not tied to Silicon Valley, big fashion, or flashy conglomerates. He owns Black-run brands, keeps his business tight and private, and doesn't rely on mainstream PR. That makes him harder to measure, but also harder to control. He's been too independent for gatekeepers to celebrate, and too successful to ignore. But real ones know, MasterP is the reason today's moguls even had a template. He walked so they could run. His estimated net worth, more than you think. MasterP's official net worth is often listed at $200, $250 million, but that's likely low. Why? Because many of his assets, real estate, film rights, product equity, aren't publicly valued. His music catalog is still valuable. His brands are cash flowing quietly, and his investments are spread across private markets. Some insiders suggest his peak earnings were close to $400, $500 million. And with current ventures still scaling, he could reach billionaire status without the world even knowing. His wealth? Silent, but solid. Community, mentorship, and real impact. MasterP doesn't just talk about giving back, he builds it into his business. He runs financial literacy programs, partners with HBCUs, and teaches kids how to start companies. He mentors young artists on ownership and structure. He funds scholarships, supports small Black-owned brands, and promotes economic self-sufficiency. His empire isn't just about products, it's about people. That makes his legacy more than money. It makes him a movement. Legacy. The original independent mogul. Before the culture understood ownership, before Black excellence became a brand, before rap was in venture capital rooms, there was MasterP. He wasn't flashy, but he was focused. He didn't wait for labels, managers, or media to hand him power. He created his own ecosystem. He wrote the manual on how to turn hustle into generational wealth. And whether he gets the flowers or not, one thing is clear. MasterP wasn't just ahead of the game. He invented the game they're all playing now. MasterP didn't just make money, he made a model. And while the world keeps chasing billion-dollar exits, he's been stacking silent wins for 30 years. If this gave you a new level of respect for the ice cream man, drop your favorite P quote in the comments, hit that like, and share it with someone who's building their own empire. Because MasterP didn't just bet on himself, he bet on ownership. And he's still winning quietly.